The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Well, when our next guest talks about clean energy, he's not talking in the future tense. As the founder of GoRental, he's already building the next generation of portable power, systems that are clean, scalable, and ready to go wherever the grid can't. Whether it's a city center or a remote village, his battery-powered units are showing up with silent zero-emission energy that works without the noise, fumes, or hassle of diesel. But what sets GoRental apart isn't just the hardware, it's the vision. These aren't just batteries, they're pieces of mobile infrastructure equipped with real-time monitoring, carbon tracking, and the ability to scale up or down depending on the need. And our next guest sees this as a key part of climate resilience, filling in the last 100 meters where traditional infrastructure falls short. So as demand for flexible, reliable power keeps rising, especially in a region like Southeast Asia, can mobile clean energy close the gap between ambition and action? Well, joining us to share more is Colin Peh, who is the founder of GoRental. Hi, Colin. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, Colin, take us back to the early days of GoRental. What was the moment that made you decide that this business was something you had to build yourself?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. At GoRental, we are rethinking on how to bring clean energy to decarbonize various activities such as anytime, anywhere, bring it to different spaces such as an outdoor festival, corporate events, and also like your community gatherings such as your barbecue and your outdoor party. So it all started with an idea, well, what if I can provide you with accessible power anytime, anywhere, without noise and no fumes, but sustainable. So that came as a challenge, and where we think about such as if you have an outdoor party where you require power for bouncy castle and for glamping in East Coast Park, where you have like battery powered air condition. So that came to, in 2001, we started with the concept and to bring in battery power in that way to provide as small as a power bank to bigger as to infrastructure power bank. So we provide eco-friendly energy solution. So we charge it in our solar facility. So we bring it to you with a quiet and clean, reliable power. So today we power about 200 over events and save about 1,500 tons of carbon emission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a fun fact. We do have we provided more than 300 fish tanks and fridges of power last year. So there's a lot of fish lovers because of like they have like EV charger, installation, they have power maintenance. So that's one of our huge residential client.
Very interesting. Yeah. Well, where did your passion for sustainability come from, Colin? I mean, did you have a background in sustainability that helped make this decision?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I went on to study as a certified sustainability practitioner that helps me to better understand carbon counting and how can I help various organizations in their decarbonization journey. So I think that's where, from the very beginning of how can I bring power to you in a cleaner form, that helps me to drive that vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes GoRental different from other companies that are also in the business of bringing clean energy to the masses?
I think we are the only companies that right now that brings like solar power to you anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
So our journey begins with a vision to make sustainable energy more accessible and also practical for everyone. Even you say you need for your fish tank, I can provide that, and to bigger festivals in that way. So our battery pack is charged at our solar facility, which we bring it to our consumer. So I mean, there's also a lot of limitation to greener energy source at the moment, but I think that is a commitment that what we want to bring it in as 2030 government green plan. Yep.
Well, Colin, as you've earlier mentioned, other than powering fish tanks here, you've brought clean, silent power to some pretty intense situations, from elections, National Day parades, and emergency medical response, amongst others. Walk us through what that actually looks like on the ground with these projects and why diesel just doesn't cut it anymore.
I think definitely that there is a hybrid systems, but right now, because diesel, there's noise and there's fumes. I think definitely a lot of the time when one big generator will power the entire event. So how we did with our power system is that we give you like 50 stores we power 50 stores of batteries in that way. And that way we are able to track the carbon emission for every store. So like, for example, you are the store that sell clothes, I'm the store that sell food. In that way, I would be able to know how much power consumption and carbon emission in that way. And beyond that, we create a cable, more like a cable-free environment. So when there's for wheelchair and stroller, it's better for the whole, basically, concert environment. So I think beyond that, the carbon emission and monitoring helps every stakeholder to know how much carbon emission they are using in that way, and also providing for better systems.
Okay. Well, a lot of people don't think about portable power as part of climate solutions, but you've called it a kind of last mile infrastructure. What does that mean in real life?
Definitely, I mean, in that way, in a battery-powered environment, people say that it will deplete in that way. But I think nowadays, with a lot of solar system, you're able to recharge it to provide the net zero emission for our infrastructure right now.
Right.
So as the technology move, I think we can see in 2 to 5 years' time, the technology will be there to provide a cleaner way of powering.
Well, your gear doesn't just power things, though. It tracks carbon and scales up or down depending on what's needed, right? How do all those extra features help in places like medical tents or outdoor broadcasts where there's no room for error?
Like for this upcoming NDP, is our SG60. So we power one of like medical tent for various, and also the X-ray machine, a lot of outdoor facilities. So firstly, you don't have to run a lot of cable to the tent in that way. So your medical tent has a battery powered, and that way we also given it as an uninterrupted power supply. So in that way, for elections aid, we provide the vote counters as a UPS. So in that case, if there's any power disruption, it will just cut in immediately, 0 milliseconds, cut over. So not only we provide that power, we provide as an uninterrupted power for the functions and facilities. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, from rural farms in Thailand to big city setups in Singapore, you've seen how different parts of Asia are dealing with clean energy. What have those deployments kind of taught you about whether the region is ready and where it's still catching up? I mean, what are the usual barriers? Is it policy, cost, or is it mindset?
I think it's a great question for this. I think because like right now we adopt a Thailand village in Chiang Mai where there's no power access at all. So we did our CRS program where there's this 200 pax village in Thailand where there's no power and road access. So they only pull their power from a diesel generator, and sometimes at night they don't even have money to power the entire village. So in that case, we came in and we helped them to set up a solar systems with our battery storage systems in that way. So kids at night they can shower with hot water, they can shower with have lights to study. So in terms of we have sun is abundant sometimes, and in that way we just have to come in with a system and policy to make them have a lower entry barrier in that way. Yeah.
Well, was there a country or a city that really surprised you in terms of how fast it's moving?
I think it's definitely China right now. Battery technology and even any energy technology right now for China is like looking at how EV car transit and how petroleum car transit. This is how our energy market is transiting in this whole arena.
Right. Well, I also want to ask, are there any memorable stories from those who've used GoRental that, made you believe this is the right path for me, this is why I'm doing this? Yeah,
I think it's a very interesting question. I think it was like 2 years back, we received a call, emergency call from this little girl. I think she's 10 years old. So she called and she said, hey, I need power, but I don't have money to pay. So they have, basically, she required for her grandma, there's a bed rest on oxygen regulator.
Right.
So basically, she need power because I think there's a UPS on the regulator, which is, I think, less than 30 minutes. So they are staying in like a one-room flat. So we provided them with the power without any cost. And from that on, 2 weeks later, she drew us a card. Sent us a card and said that thank you for the service. And I think because 2 weeks later, the grandma passed on also. I think that's where we find that providing power, although Singapore is very stable in terms of power, but I think in cases where there's power maintenance and all those, people still need emergency power. Yeah.
I mean, these are the stories that make you keep going. Right?
It is.
Okay. Well, Colin, before we let you go here, what's next for GoRental? Are there any expansion plans in the future that you're able to share with our listeners?
I think definitely. I think because we are also powering the coming Sundown Festival this weekend. It's a sustainability festivals. And as I see, beyond that, we are creating, in the midst of setting up Singapore's first renewable, self-sustainable tiny home at Vida City. So to showcase our technology and our experience zone for the visitor. And I think in Malaysia and Indonesia, we are also going into the night market. There's a lot of events in night market where we are trying to educate and to transform the different sector of the market. I think we also want to grow our initiative. We call it Go Impact, the power to empower.
Ooh.
So we power to empower. So where you see a lot of like the villages that we are going to transform them to give people a better understanding of how renewable energy works. Yeah.
Well, looks like, yeah.
Yeah, I think at GoRental, I think that is not just a business to me, but we are building a better systems in that way.
And you're making an impact, a change that is for the world and for the environment. Well, thank you so much, Colin, for joining me. Thank you. That was Colin Peh, who's the founder of GoRental. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.